I think they made it. Yeah, they made it back.
Gaming and technology are the talk of the party here with EloTalk.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the EloTalk podcast, where we talk about what's new and happening in gaming, in culture, and in technology. I am joined here by two other members of our wonderful EloTalk staff. We have Natalie and Ziggy. Did you two want to introduce yourselves and tell the listeners where they could find you on social media?
Yes, I will go first. I'm Natalie, and I am. I know we always laugh at that, but this is a part of the fun. We like to have fun here. I'm one of the editors with EloTalk, and I do a general slew of things, and mostly editing, and I do some writing. And yes, I'm here on this podcast today.
And where can people find you social media-wise?
Oh, I'm all over Twitter, mostly talking about coffee, my dogs, and video games. You can find me at Natatui, Natatui on Twitter. And I won't bother spelling it for you, so you'll probably see the annotation somewhere after the podcast of where you can find me.
Sweet.
Yes.
And Ziggy.
And I'm Ziggy. I am a writer, content creator for EloTalk. You can find me at _Fatman, as in Boba Fett, because he's the best. And as well, twitch.tv, _Fatman. I am so excited to be here. And, it's like the first time doing this, right, guys?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we got the energy.
Oh, yeah.
Feel it.
Right in.
And for everyone who is joining us for the first time, I am an editor over at EloTalk.com. I look over not all of them. I look over a lot of the articles that go out on our website and help kind of make them look pretty. Actually, speaking of EloTalk, we actually launched a Patreon. It's a new thing, a new initiative that we are trying out. So if you go to patreon.com/EloTalk, all one word, you'll see our funding campaign. And we have some rewards that we're offering to people who are willing to give money to help us do what we do here. From $1 reward, $1 donations, all the way up to $50 rewards. We are really excited and looking forward to getting the support of the community to continue covering the wonderful news that comes out of the gaming world. So if you are interested in becoming a partner with our efforts, be sure to go to the patreon.com/EloTalk, and we thank you for all of your support.
You want to be an EloChat. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You could be a part of the Elo squad.
Hashtag squad goals right now.
Yes.
So let's get right into the episode. So before we get into our big topics, I guess, what are some things that people are feeling this week? So what's caught your attention? What's on your radar?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Just because it's been an interesting week for Ubisoft and Watchdogs 2 release. There was a player who found a fully rendered vagina in Watchdogs 2.
Wow.
We
used the proper medical term? What is this?
We're just going for it this time.
Coming right out. There's no filter. Hashtag no filter. We're adults here. It wasn't a mod. It wasn't something that was just someone hacked their way into the game and added this fully rendered image onto a female character or NPC, if you will. It was built into the code. So it was very interesting. That's been on my list. I'm reading pretty much everything about it because, as you could probably tell, there are the social justice warriors that are like, oh my God, vaginas and video games. What is happening?
So Natalie, be honest with us. How many times have you watched this video?
It's not a video, it's an image.
An image.
And
okay.
I've seen it probably 3 or 4 times.
People worry about like other people going through their internet history, and I'm just curious, like,
Nuts.
Listen,
would go with Natalie, like.
listen, I'm proud of it, and you know, it's from
There
some
you go.
very like credible sources. So
Nice.
you know, no shame. Hashtag no shame.
Is this on? Did they just do the guy characters, or is this just the female characters?
Oh, there was a guy one, and
Oh.
apparently there's an NPC that you could see like he's kind of. I think it was like he was drunk, and they're taking like a piss like on the side of the highway, and you could see his junk, man.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen pictures of that though.
This totally reminds me of the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas hot coffee controversy on that. So
yeah.
Actually,
oh my god.
I never played that much of Grand Theft Auto, so I don't know what that is.
like any of them?
I've played Chinatown Wars because I owned a 3DS or DS at the time.
You have to play the last one. The last one, like just the GTA Online, is just simply amazing. Especially with all the updates they do all the time, and that.
Oh my gosh! Listen, I have
crazy.
so many games I need to play. I don't know if it's going to be healthy adding another one to this, man.
What has everyone been playing recently?
Me, I just finished up the Batman Telltale series.
Oh, nice.
I finished episodes 1 through 3.
How
and that
it?
it was amazing. It was such a different take on Bruce Wayne. Because like, I mean, it's the same story every time, you know, just a different like iteration of it. But this was different. It was a little more interpersonal. You were in the eyes of Batman, in the eyes of Bruce Wayne, and you could choose who you wanted to really kind of like who you wanted to be at the end of the story. And they're just coming out with episode 4. I believe it's the 22nd of this month. So I think it's next week. That's next week, right? What are we? I forget what date it is, but it's coming next week. So episode 4, I'm definitely going to check that out. I'm probably going to do a review on EloTalk, so look out for that.
No, nice,
that's what I just finished up playing.
Yeah, I'm a huge Batman fan myself. I haven't had a chance to pick it up, but you know, even though we know the Bruce Wayne story, like I hear it's, you know, this is the first of really getting into the character more in depth. So it's a different perspective than, you know, like the Arkham series and things like that. So looking forward to it for sure, and looking forward to your review, Natalie.
Yes, thank you. Yay.
What about you, Ziggy? What are you playing?
So I've been playing Shadowverse, which is a trading card game online. It's a mix between, it reminds me of like Hearthstone and Yu-Gi-Oh at the same time. It's anime based. It's actually really pretty. I actually opened a pack today and got like 2 legendaries and a gold, so that was pretty cool. It's completely free to play. You can definitely not spend any money into it, and it's a lot of fun. I suggest you guys check it out.
Nice. I remember when Yu-Gi-Oh was big. Those were
oh my
days.
God, yeah, those were the days.
Apparently, people still play it.
People do still play it. We're talking.
Yeah, no, I just remember when it was like everywhere, kind of like the Pokemon craze. Actually, speaking of Pokemon, tomorrow is
actually in 18 minutes. It comes out.
Oh wait, what? What?
Yeah, it comes out.
I haven't.
East Coast represent.
Best Coast.
Oh,
Best
I'm
Coast.
on like the other side of the country, so I'm like, what? 18 minutes? What?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Pokemon comes out. I mean, I'm not playing that currently. I'm kind of having like a throwback moment where I'm playing Fire Emblem Sacred Stones for the Game Boy Advance. They have it released on the Wii U Virtual Console, so I've been revisiting one of my favorite Fire Emblem titles, which has been fun.
Wow.
But
did you play the new ones?
Yeah, I have all 3 of them, and
wow.
I haven't even beaten them. So I don't know why I'm playing the old one. I don't know. I have weird priorities. But anyway, yeah, Pokemon comes out this weekend, and I'm so excited because this is like, I to be honest, I got really excited for X and Y, and then my excitement for Pokemon has really kind of like died down, and now it's kind of slowly building back up the more I see for Sun and Moon. Are you guys gonna get the game? How do you feel about it?
So for me, I'm on the fence about like recently I've been like, oh, Pokemon, you know, especially with the huge Pokemon Go craze. And I recently got my daughter a Pokemon sticker book where it has all like 700 Pokemon from all different 6 regions. So that got me hyped up for it. And then one thing that's been driving me nuts, I find a lot of the newer Pokemon, I'm not a big fan of all of the art direction that it's going in. And people were actually just posting it on Discord, like some of the newer Pokemons. And like for me, they look kind of sloppy. I know it's a new art direction, but I mean, maybe I'm just old school and I really prefer the the first 150 Pokemon. But I find like with the newer Pokemon, I find like the more the evolutions come, they get like uglier, and it's just, I don't know.
Really?
I'm having a hard time with some of the like Pokemon, like with that new elongated necks and everything. I don't know.
Is it like too modern or something, or like it doesn't have that touch that
for me it just seems kind of sloppy. Like there was one that like there was like a sand Pokemon or whatever, and then like its evolution form is literally like a sand castle. And I don't know, it doesn't have that same appeal to me that the original Pokemon did. Like I thought what I liked about the original Pokemon, they were a lot smoother around the edges, they were really cute. And then
and I think they're having that struggle with like balancing who their audience is, because they have all these 20-somethings and 30-somethings that have been involved with the series since it came out, and now they're trying to introduce the series to like who I believe is their intended audience, which is like younger kids. But you have people that are playing this game who are all ages, and Pokemon has this really nice way of having like a universal appeal to it. So it feels like they have this design balance. Because I feel you too, Ziggy. Because when I first saw what's that water type, Poplio, like the little like seal one, I was like, okay, that thing is ugly. I was like, this looks like some sort of like children's like plastic toy that they decided to make into a starter, and I thought it was the ugliest thing. But at the same time, it's like understanding that the whole audience isn't just me and my preferred aesthetic too. It's so interesting, like seeing how they evolve, but it's so cool seeing how they're still relevant. You know, like they're still relevant even after like, what is it? They're coming on 30 years now.
Is it?
I think it was 96.
Yeah, I don't even know.
96, 94, around there, early 90s, mid 90s.
Are you serious? Oh, jeez, I'm old, dude. I'm getting old.
Yeah. Older than both of you.
Whatever, Ziggy. What was I doing in 95? I was trying to eat my cereal like every morning before breakfast, and then I would watch Pokemon like before school. That was the shit. Good times.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Good times. Did you guys pre-order the game? Do you know if you are gonna play it, or is it gonna be one that you're gonna let slip by?
For me, I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. Like I was into it when I was younger, obviously, but I think I just lost like so much touch with it. And I feel like I'd have to kind of start over to pick up like where I left off and to kind of know what's going on now. I mean, it's just Pokemon, so I'm sure like if I just found my way back in, it'd be fine. But it's not for me. I don't think I'm going to pick it up or anything like that. There is the midnight release, right? I think there's they're actually releasing it tonight in stores, I think. So that's neat. That's pretty cool that they're doing things like that at least.
Yeah.
So for me, I have the tendency to get like every other Pokemon game. But I actually have a history with Pokemon. When I actually first met my wife, I actually bought her a DS and Pokemon, so like we can hang out and just talk about and play the game. So
That's so
like
cute.
I know, right? But I don't know. Like I probably will get this one. And my wife really wants to get the sun one because it has like the cat and stuff, and I'm a crazy cat man, so I'll probably just buy her Moon so that I can buy sun for myself. Strats, guys, strats.
Yes, Pros and cons.
Yeah, I can't decide if I want sun or moon. It's a hard life right now. I can't decide between two video games. Man.
So much. It's too much. It's just way too much, really.
It really is. So we have Pokemon that's coming up this weekend. We also had recently BlizzCon happened, and
Yes.
there was just all sorts of releases and new content and new things coming out for players. I mean, to be honest, I know that I'm not the residential Blizzard fanboy in this conversation.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Ziggy.
But hey Ziggy. But I do know that I do play some Overwatch, and I was really looking forward to Sombra's reveal because I really like the love and care that Blizzard is putting into its cast of characters in Overwatch. I feel like they're really, really intentional with how they design things. And Sombra's really cool. I mean, I haven't played a real game with her yet, just because I've been busy with other stuff. But she looks really awesome. Do you guys play Overwatch?
So even before we get into that whole Sombra thing, the way that they teased us for Sombra the whole entire time was amazing. So first of all, you'd always get like little pictures there and there. And then when BlizzCon started, with the Overwatch part, like everyone literally thought that they were having like technical difficulties. And then in the end, it turned out to be the Sombra video. And that video was really cool. And I thought it was a really good way to get people engaged. Because like from what I hear, people who were at BlizzCon literally thought they were having issues. And then it was like kind of like the big reveal. And it was really cool and really well done. And I have to give credit to Blizzard for totally doing that. I've had a little chance to play with Sombra. She's a lot of fun, but I think from what a lot of people are saying, she seems very strong so far. I don't want to use the term overpowered, but she seems like a type of character that, like Tracer and Genji and all that, if you're really good with those types of players, that you can really dominate. I find her hack is really powerful. Like she can just shut down ults like there's nobody's business, but she's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, when I actually got into the PTR, which is the player test region or regional, whatever it was, and I tried her out, and I only tried her out for 2 minutes, and that wasn't nearly enough time to really see like what she could do, what her abilities were. So I gave it some time, and sure enough, she was released live. I think yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. No, 2 days ago. 2 days ago. And I don't think she's overpowered, but it just could be that I don't know how to play her well enough yet at all. And I think the nice thing about having a new hero is everyone's getting to know how to play her. So you're not going to be totally, dominated by a Sombra, in the middle of a match, because people are still learning how to actually play her. So I think like jumping on the bandwagon at this point, getting to know how Sombra plays and all her abilities is a really interesting time, because she's going to be a really interesting character to play. And, her hack, all of her other abilities are insane. And it's all about timing, like it is with a lot of other heroes. But it's really interesting how they brought her into the mix, because she counters a lot of other heroes too. So, I mean, I like it. I like her, but we'll see.
I feel like she was like Ana, because Ana is not super impressive in the wrong hands, but in the right hands and with a coordinated team, like Ana's amazing. Because you have that communication advantage, because you can like tell your teammates like you're sleeping someone, so don't hit them. But I think that there's a lot of coordination and communication that would really make Sombra like amazingly powerful. Because I tried her out a little bit in like a practice game, and the amount of stuff that she can do as far as like crowd control and keeping the game flow going and like really disrupting team efforts is really interesting. So I feel like in a fully communicating really well organized team, she'll probably be a monster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I've been so far really impressed what Blizzard has done with Overwatch. I mean, even with like a lot of the events, like the Olympic events, with Lucille Ball, Halloween events were really cool with the co-op Junkenstein mats and skins.
Yeah.
Their character development is really cool. Like I'm really enjoying the short videos of it. I think it really brings a lot of people together with the storylines and really getting you attached to these characters, and they also released, they update it all the time. They're listening to their fans. They're getting new modes, new arcane mode that was just recently released is a lot of fun with the brawls and the 6-on-6 and the 3-on-3. So I think they're really doing really well. And then, another big bomb that they dropped that they wanted to do for Overwatch was the Overwatch League, which sounds really cool. Essentially, they're trying to make it like a sports, like having people do like tryouts, and they're going to do like regional teams on that. And for me, I think that's going to be really interesting, especially the fact that like I find a lot of with esports, like League of Legends and all that, there's a lot of teams that have players, but there's so much player swapping and people just going in and out. This seems like they want to do a more permanent thing, and it'll be very interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, and especially with how big of an entertainment value esports is turning into, like the bars that will play like professional games, and I really want to go to an esports bar. Like I would go there all the time.
Yeah, there's a few in Toronto, and it's done very well. So
yeah, there was some stuff going on here in New York, but it wasn't Overwatch. I think it was oh my god, I think it actually might have been League. Yeah, I think it was definitely League, and I think it was Rocket League too. That was at a bar once that I heard about, which was pretty crazy. But the Overwatch League is going to be pretty cool. From what I understand, and Ziggy, you could probably shed some light on this, but it's going to offer like 3 game modes, right? Like it's going to be the same like standard kind of setup, but it's going to be like crazy intense because you've got all of these like essentially maybe not pro players, but you're going to have your typical like the escort, right? And the escorting the payload and stuff like that, right? I think, Ziggy?
I haven't actually seen too much of exactly how they're doing the format. The only thing I really know is that basically they're trying to make it regional based. So by like cities and stuff like that, they're going to have like tryouts. I mean, you look at the promotional video for it, they're actually putting a lot of like thought and money into this. Like you had people like Mark Cuban, Serena Williams in the video and things like that. So it's not just something like they're just kind of like,
right,
making like, it looks like they're going guns blazing in, and it'd be a really big trailblazer to the esports community for this to happen. So it'll be interesting to see, because I find like a lot with esports, a lot of the players are like really young people, right? So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to do this, and how stable it's going to be with the players playing for their cities or things like that, and how many teams they're going to start off with so far, if they're going to do like drafts and things like that. So it'll be cool,
right?
On that. And then whether they do it as like a LAN tournament or still online, I think that's still to be determined, but I'm looking forward to learning more about it as it happens.
Yeah, well, I was doing a little bit more reading. Sorry, Justin.
No, I was just gonna say there's lots of Overwatch news. And
yeah.
Outside of Overwatch, though, they did reveal some new developments for Diablo. And the only thing I know about Diablo is that when I was younger, I used to play it with a friend of mine who like was obsessed with the game. So it was really I got to like experience the whole game through watching someone. But I do know, I do remember, because he played Necromancer, that Necromancer coming to Diablo 3 is a big deal. and they just announced it at BlizzCon, which is awesome. Like, talk about nostalgia. So cool.
Right?
For sure. Well, the interesting about them releasing the Necromancer pack, so just before BlizzCon was happening, they were actually rumors that they were going to announce Diablo 4 or a new Diablo expansion, and then they actually just threw this kind of out of nowhere, and I think it caught a lot of people by surprise. And there were some mixed reactions to it. There's the reaction of like your friend who loved the beloved Necromancer class, and those people are going to be very excited for it on that, as well as they also announced that they were going to do the Darkening of Tristram, which is a play on the old school Diablo 2 with the butcher and everything like that, which is going to be an event that runs only in January on that people will be able to play. That I think it's kind of weird that they're only doing it for January. I have a feeling that people are probably going to be like it a lot and just have them play it all the time, but
Right.
We'll see on that. And they also announced seasons on console, which is really cool. I think it's about time, and the game's wicked on console. And then of course there's the other people who didn't like the news, that thought that that there wasn't much added content to it, but I know it's hard to add more Diablo-ness to it, because in the end it is a game of grind and loot, and I'm okay with that because I'm a loot whore myself. But it's tough to see, like, when they do finally make a Diablo 4, what are they going to do to really change the game? So
right, because it's been the same, when did Diablo 3 come out? It's been a few years.
Yes. I mean, we all know the problems Diablo 3 had when it first came out, with the server issues and everything. But they've come a long way since Reapers of Soul, which made the game fantastic. And they do update it all the time, which I think is very impressive. And I've enjoyed it on that. So I think they've done a good job myself as a Diablo fan, but I can also understand why some people would be mad about the news. But like, as a Diablo fan, Necromancer is cool. I wish they had the Druid back too, but I mean, we'll see how it goes.
Wow. Diablo 3 came out May 15th of 2012.
Yeah.
What?
Well, Reaper of Souls came out 2014?
I have no idea.
I think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like a few years after. So
it's been 4 years.
Yeah, it came out in 2014.
That's insane.
Holy. That's
then,
nuts.
On BlizzCon 2, they also announced for Heroes of the Storm 2 new heroes. We have Varen and Ragnaros, which are iconic characters in the World of Warcraft world.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Varen just came out this week as well. And they've also added some cross-promotional stuff with if you play with friends. You can actually get some really cool Overwatch skin, 15 games played, and then 30 games played for additional stuff for actual things in Heroes of the Storm, which is really cool. So
wasn't that the Genji skin? That was a Genji skin, right? I think.
Yeah, the Oni Genji skin, which looks really badass. And
nice.
I've been very impressed with their cross-promotional events that they do between their games, Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, and Overwatch. I think it's a really smart decision by Blizzard to do that, and try to keep all of them, exciting and things like that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I actually saw some people with the Genji skin, and it looks really cool. I was actually pretty impressed with how nice it looked.
I am Googling it right now because I haven't seen it.
It looks pretty cool.
Way to be prepared.
Especially when the shurikens are flying at you and you're dying, but
Oh wait, no. I've seen this. It's This is sick looking. Oh my god, crazy.
It's pretty nice skin.
I mean, I think in with BlizzCon, they also announced the new expansion for Hearthstone, which is Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, which is pretty cool. Gadgetzan is one of the cool gnome places in World of Warcraft, so that's going to be interesting, and I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course,
I used to play Hearthstone. Darn.
That's also not my thing, but that's cool, you know.
Yeah.
I can really.
You're allowed to have faults, Natalie. You're allowed to have faults.
Dang.
I know. I'm all about that single player game. Like I love Last of Us. I just finished replaying Red Dead Redemption.
That got announced.
Yeah. That's the Red Dead Redemption 2 is gonna be like I can't even wrap my head around it that Rockstar is doing this. It's amazing. But I haven't even finished Red Dead Redemption, the original. I finished it the first time when it came out, but I'm replaying it just because of the hype, and I want to be like reminded of the story. And it's so good. It's so good. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah. So anyway,
the hype train hit you real hard there. I actually haven't played Red Dead Redemption.
You gotta.
Yeah, it's
only on console though, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
I don't think it ever came out for PC.
Yeah, it was only for PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
2?
PlayStation 3 and 360, Xbox 360.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't own any of those consoles.
Well, it was really cool because it was like playing Auto in the Western atmosphere, which was really cool, and the storyline was really great on it too, and a lot of the decisions you can make in the stories was really funny. So I remember having good times with that game as well.
I'm having
fun. I need to add that to my list of games I need to play again.
Along with the 7 million consoles you need to pick up, Justin.
Yeah, please. So behind.
The program.
How am I supposed to be a pro gamer if I don't even own a Sega Genesis? Like what?
Come on, dude. Jeez.
I know. Get with the times. Actually, I was about to say, speaking of games that are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what were you gonna say, Ziggy?
I was gonna say, speaking of Sega Genesis, the recently released Nintendo Classic coming out, which is really cool. It was funny. I was at the mall and I was like, "Why the hell is everybody lining up?" Because it was Remembrance Day here in Canada, and I'm like, "Why is everybody lining up at EB Games, which is GameStop for you guys?" And I realized that the Nintendo Classic had come out. And it's a tiny little thing, and it has 30 classic Nintendo games. I was really looking forward to this as well. I was actually kind of disappointed in some of the games that were left out, probably due to licensing issue. Like, I think it's crazy that there's no Nintendo Baseball and Tetris and things like that. But they do have some really good iconic games, like obviously the first 3 Marios, Mega Man 2, Castlevania, Metroid, Zelda, Punch Out, Balloon Fight, and those ones. So,
wow, yeah, that
Paperboy. Yeah, that thing is so small. But I also know that Paperboy was a classic, and that's not on the 30 preloaded games.
Were you even born when Paperboy came out? I don't even think you were.
I think
when was it released?
I think it was 87, and I was born a year later. But
I was not born.
As soon as I hit like 5 or 6, I was like, Paperboy, this game is life. And it was just all about Paperboy. I love that game. I love it.
Oh my god.
Oh, so
it actually came out in 1980.
1980.
That's like
sorry. I'm coughing. Are you kidding me?
Well, that was like the original that came out.
It says 1984, 85.
Wait, the release in North America, I think was 85.
That's crazy. I was 3 years old.
I wasn't even born.
Oh my god.
Well, you know you're old when you Google Paperboy and the first thing that comes out is the Paperboy movie. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, that's what happened with me. I was just looking that up and I was like, what is this? This is not Paperboy's graphics really improved.
But
like what?
There was I also, when I Googled Paperboy, there was Paperboy in parentheses rapper.
What?
There's a rapper. By Paperboy. Interesting.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
well,
Do you
I
like
can't.
have urban Google or something? Because
Nope.
I did not see
No,
that.
I do not
That's
want to
funny.
dig deep into the dark interwebs this evening. So
Oh my
I'm
God.
just gonna close
You just
that
want to
of that.
watch Watchdogs and peeing
Yes.
and
Yeah. Pretty much. That's it. Yeah. I get a kick out of that.
Also, if our listeners want to check out the full list of games that were released on the Nintendo Classic, you can go to our website, which is elotalk.com, and we have an article on there that lists all the games for you.
The plugs are real.
That's right. You better
Yeah,
go
so
there.
go ahead and check that out. And where I was going to go with my segue a bit ago was talking about new and upcoming games, and I am so mad because Persona 5 is delayed again.
Yeah.
By 2 months. It went from Valentine's Day of next year to like April.
Seriously?
And this is
April. Wow.
Yeah, and this is a common trend. Like, this is not only the first time this has happened, but like developers seem to be having this really big habit of pushing release dates back by like an odd number of months, and it's so frustrating because it's supposed to be like this professional industry, and you're trying to wait for a game to like spend your money on, and then they delay it again. Like, don't even get me started on how long we've been waiting for Final Fantasy 14 and Kingdom Hearts 3. But like, oh God.
Yeah.
Would you rather a game come out when it's not prepared yet? I mean, like, you take a look at Battlefield 4, where, when that came out, it was, I don't even know if I'm allowed to swear, but it was a clusterfuck. It literally was. But
Yeah.
and it literally took like 6 months for them to actually get like everything up and running like properly. And it was actually a pretty good game, but it took such a big, hit for that, right? So I'm okay
Batman.
with. Yeah, like exactly, right? Like, I'm okay with delays. I mean, sometimes some delays obviously are bad delays, but that's because of things happening with the companies, right? Like Duke Nukem Forever took like 20 million years to make, and by the time it came out, nobody actually cared because nobody was actually born at the time when the first came out at the time. So,
I think it's more of the balance of like, if they're anticipating a later release date, I would rather them just announce a later release date, and then, for especially like in the instance of Persona, it's out in Japan. It's been out for like 2 months already or something. It's been out for a while. So I'm
there. Wow, I didn't know.
Yeah.
That.
So my qualm with it is actually more like, is it something with localization? Like, is there something that's really keeping them like from doing
it's licensing rights and all these other things that
and it's just done, or it's just frustrating,
or even maybe the translations and everything like that.
Yeah, I wonder what would really be behind that, though.
Yeah,
that's kind of significant if you think about it, because if it's been out in Japan for 2 months already, and it got extended another 2 months from the release date here in North America, in America, that's pretty crazy. So I wonder, like, there's got to be something going on there. But
the other few games that were, delayed for a while, like Kingdom Hearts just announced it's going to be delayed. However, they did announce that they are re-releasing 1.5 and 2.5, which I am super excited for, because I get to play it with my daughter, and she'll love Disney theme games and stuff, which would be awesome.
Stop bringing up all this cute, gross stuff into our podcast, like giving your wife Pokemon and a DS, and now your daughter and stickers and.
Listen, I'm trying to get the broader audience. Okay,
it's cute. It's so cute.
It's cute.
I approve of this message.
Shut up, Justin. Nobody.
Dang, ousted. Boom. No, but actually, I'm really excited about the 1.5, 2.5 release on PS4, because I actually have access to a PS4, so I can finally play Kingdom Hearts.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Of all the consoles, I don't have a PS4.
How does this guy call himself a gamer? I've never played Red Dead. I've never played Kingdom Hearts. I've never witnessed life.
I'm getting hurt.
You're getting roasted, dude.
This is not the roast of Justin right now.
No.
We need a new host, guys. New host.
No.
Host that has actually played video games in his lifetime.
Dang, ouch.
Justin, we love you. We love you.
Thanks, Natalie.
I vote Natalie 2020, guys.
Hey,
Oh my
hey.
God.
That's gonna be my slogan.
There you go. And then actually I briefly touched on how 15 has been delayed, but it's finally coming out in less than 2 weeks, and I am probably way too Ziggy. I swear to God.
But I mean, like, think about it. Like, think about how much you've actually heard of Final Fantasy 15 in the last couple of weeks. Like, do you not find it kind of weird? Like, have you heard much about it?
I actually have. They've been doing some interviews with Square Enix developers and stuff, so I've heard things. And plus, like, this is so close. If they announce a delay date within 2 weeks of their announced release date, that's pretty ridiculous. Like,
it's literally
at least
like 10
Persona
days.
is telling us, like Persona is telling us at least like 4 months in advance. You know what I'm telling you?
Well, at least they're doing it for the holiday time, so maybe that'll be your luck for it. So
yeah.
I mean, after 10-ish years, I think it's about time.
That's so crazy. It's been 10 years.
Did you guys like the last Final Fantasy series, like 13 with all the lightning stuff?
So
how did you guys feel about it?
Not me.
I liked aspects of it. I think the story was really interesting. It was very complicated because they tried to throw everything at you at once, and then you have to kind of like sift through it, and they like try to make it seem really complicated. I think that's kind of a tropey thing that they do, because it happens a lot in anime where they like kind of throw you in the middle of a situation and they're like, everything sounds so complicated and cool, and now you have to figure it out. But I think the story was really interesting. I didn't like the layout of 13 that much because, you know, Final Fantasy, like Final Hallway 13, we all know that joke. I think I went in a positive direction with the second one, and the third one was pretty good. The music though, holy cow!
Well, Final Fantasy has always had a great score to it.
Such good music.
From what I remember from Final Fantasy 13 is that I wanted Sarah to shut up the whole entire time because her voice was just awful, and she had that weird relationship with what's his face? What's the dude with the afro's name again?
I know nothing about this.
Sally? No, that's Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I don't know. They had like a really weird, like creepy relationship. I found I don't know. I'm not trying to insinuate anything. I'm just saying it was kind of creepy at the time. Yes, and I find it was weird. I remember playing it. It was a pretty game. Don't get me wrong. The gameplay was kind of like meh. But when I watched, I remember I was watching a Twitch stream. I think it was Dan's Gaming, and he was playing it, and it was actually okay to watch. But actually playing it, I found it was kind of like meh.
Yeah.
But you know, to each his own.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a stance on this one, Natalie? We got two different opinions here, so you got to balance it out.
You know, Final Fantasy is another one that is just not my thing, but I think like my taste in games is changing, so I think that's going to be like my next series that I have to like just sit down, pay attention to everything, and I'm probably going to love it. Knowing me,
I can tell you some ones that you should avoid.
Play Final Fantasy 6 and 7.
7's overhyped. But it's
good.
good.
7's harder to play now just because it's funny because I remember when Final Fantasy 7 came out, you're like, oh my god, these graphics are so gorgeous, blah blah blah. And then you play it now, and you're like, wow, these are polygons. What's up with that?
They don't even have fingers.
I know, right?
What are they just like? No. They're just like orbs as like hands.
They're like hexagonal.
Yeah, it's like playing like the original Virtual Fighter where everybody's like polygons. But
okay,
Final Fantasy 6 is my favorite of all time. I really love 6.
6 is really good. Nice.
Where would I start though? Should I start at the
6.
First? Just okay.
I would say you could play the first one because they've remade it, and I think it's a good like classic throwback to how far the series has come. Don't play 2. Holy cow! Do not play 2.
I think the first one is hard to play though as someone in your generation. I think it's because it's still very primitive.
Whoa.
But I
what
think
do you
at
mean?
least
What do you mean by generation? Millennials? Are you talking about millennials?
Maybe.
Come on.
No, just
You'll
don't play.
know
Don't
what I
play
mean,
the
though.
Super
Like,
Nintendo. Don't play the Super Nintendo one. Play the remastered ones that they released.
Got
What
it.
do you mean?
Like
JK.
the Dawn of Souls ones.
Dude, what are you talking about? 6 is on Super Nintendo and it was freaking
Oh,
awesome.
I was talking about 1. My bad.
Oh,
Just specifically 1.
got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I
6 on
find like 6 was really awesome because like that was when like RPGs were like really awesome because that was like around the Chrono Trigger time as well too.
Yeah.
It was just the characters were really cool and like the different things happening.
Yes.
Okay.
7 was good because of the emotional factor to it because things happen which I will not spoil for you. But
Sounds
you know,
sad.
It's great time.
It was
Super
probably
happy.
like the first game where like tears almost happened. Like you're just like,
Oh, I don't
did
like
that
crying.
just happen? It was like it was super well done too. Like
Ziggy, if I don't cry at that, I'm gonna have to talk to you.
well,
about
you'll cry for 2 different reasons. One for storyline reason, then one for gameplay reasons.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Wow. So that's our Final Fantasy spiel. I could have an entire podcast about Final Fantasy. Let me tell you.
Yes.
but yeah. So Final Fantasy 15 is coming out. Thank goodness. I'm excited, and I'm gonna play that, and maybe I'll write my first review for EloTalk about it.
Yay!
We're expecting this.
Yes.
Everybody
It'll
heard
be like
this,
a
right?
book. Also, other things that are coming out. We had the announcement and the release of the trailer for Ghost in the Shell. And Ghost in the Shell is a manga and anime series that started back in 1989. And the new movie starring Scarlett Johansson is slated to release on the 31st of March in 2017. Did you all see the trailer? And what do y'all think?
I saw the trailer. I thought it was okay. I mean, I'm not like super excited for the film, to be honest. I think, you know, obviously there was a lot of controversy with Scarlett Johansson being casted because she wasn't Japanese.
Right.
You know, I know we're gonna get into it. You know, obviously you have your feelings about it, but at the same time, like casting someone that's so big and famous, especially with her recent, like, you know, Black Widow and things like that, you know, it's obviously there to generate money. And, you know, from this day, from watching the original Ghost in the Shell movie, I still don't understand what the hell the movie's about, but it was really beautiful. One scene that I can remember was the part where she rips off the spider robots and all her like robot tendons are like getting ripped to pieces and stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But I just remember watching the ending and being like, what the hell did I just watch? I have no idea. And it's interesting because like I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but The Matrix was actually based a lot on the Ghost in the Shell movie.
Yeah.
On that, and that probably explains why a lot of The Matrix was also so damn confusing. Architect scene, anybody? Yeah.
But you know, the interesting thing about the movie, and I think this is going to go for every movie that has been made in the past or any book that has been written about and that's turned into a film. There's always going to be the fans that are like diehard fans, and they have an image in their mind of who would be the ideal person for the role. So the fact that Scarlett Johansson is going to be playing as the Major, it's obviously been very controversial, and I understand why. But just looking at the trailer, and if I'm someone who doesn't know anything about the story, who hasn't seen the Ghost in the Shell movie that came out not a few years ago, many years ago, the movie looks fucking sick. You know, like it's got action. Scarlett Johansson's gorgeous. I have a girl crush on her, which is like that's just all in it, all itself. So it's gonna have its issues, and it totally does already. But I'm on the fence about it, honestly. But if there was anyone that was gonna be from like that's been in like hero-esque movies, that is pretty much like the helm of badass, I think it's Scarlett Johansson. Like, don't hold me to that, but that's just how I feel right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and I know my take is probably going to be very different, but okay, here we go. So
let's have it.
I was really excited when they announced that this movie was going to be happening, because I really enjoy the story of Ghost in the Shell. I have a friend of mine who's a really a bigger fan than I am, and really got me interested in understanding more of the story and the direction of the themes and kind of the points that the movie and the show was trying to get across to its audience at that time. And the thing that I usually tell people whenever this conversation comes up is that, Ghost in the Shell is a story that is 100% Japanese. It's written by a Japanese author. It takes place in Japan. The themes are a commentary about Japan and technology and fear and the coming of like a technology age, and how do we transition, and how do we live in such a technology-rich world? I mean, not even we, but how does the country of Japan live in that kind of environment? It's a direct observation and narrative about Japanese culture, and the major is a huge role in this as a Japanese agent, who has to navigate this world. So in my eyes, it's really hard to see the reasoning behind casting Scarlett Johansson, when there's definitely this series has the name and it has the notoriety to get the hype around it,
right?
Because it's been around for 20 plus years. Like,
yeah, it has.
This is not an old
21.
series. There you go.
21.
And it's not something that's new, and it has a lot of really historical roots in it. And there's definitely, I think this would have been a really great opportunity to put someone in a role to kind of get them notoriety. And I definitely think that, like George Takei, I don't know how to say his last name.
Yeah.
He actually had a response to how this kind of happens often in movies. He actually was talking about it with Doctor Strange, because they cast, what's her name? Hilda. What's her last name? Tilda something. I can't remember what her name is.
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton.
Yes.
Tilda Swinton. And she was playing the role of a person who was in the Doctor Strange comics, a person who is like Asian Pacific Islander. So this is something that happens often, and this is something that's part of a bigger problem with Hollywood. And I think it's kind of personally a red herring to say that we have to cast someone who is white to relate to white audiences to get money, because that's pulling away from the actual problem, that this isn't just an isolated incident. This is something that happens often.
Yeah.
And it needs to be more than just about profit. It also needs to be about respecting the story and respecting the content.
So I understand where you're coming from, and I agree to it to some point. But at the same time, it can't be more than about profit, unfortunately, because like that's what the movie industry is. Like, I have a lot of friends in the movie industry, and like you gotta take a look, right? It's okay. Name me another actress that would bring so much popularity to this movie or an impact.
Oh, what's that? What's the name?
Oh. Well, I mean, and that's why I'm saying, like, I can see, like I said, I can definitely see how Scarlett Johansson brings a lot of weight with her name. But this is a franchise that has the opportunity, because it's not a new story and it's not like an original idea, that they could have brought anyone in and it could have fit the role.
Here's the thing, though: the Ghost in the Shell franchise is a very niche. Like it's a cult classic in a way, right? In terms of the anime world or whatnot, right? So a lot of people who don't watch anime know nothing about Ghost in the Shell. Why are they gonna go and watch this movie? So what they did is, yeah, I'm sure there's a bit of whitewashing into it and things like that. But I mean, I don't know. For me, I don't like to always look everything based on like race and color and things like that. Like for me, I take a look at this and I'm like, you know what? They're taking the hottest actress right now that's out there,
Absolutely.
and to really put it into it and to get people's attention and everything like that. And I mean, who knows? Maybe the movie is going to be like Aeon Flux, where they got Charlize Theron to do it, and the movie absolutely sucked. It looks already better than Aeon Flux, which doesn't say much because Aeon Flux was really bad.
I don't even know if we should compare it.
I was like, that's such a low bar. Like,
yeah, it is such a low bar.
It is a low bar,
like
but
trip over that. Like,
but I'm just saying, like right now, like
I gotcha. Yeah,
you know, she is probably the number one actress right now, if I'm not mistaken. Between her and I guess Charlize Theron too. But you know, who's gonna bring more seats in there? And in the end, it is about the money. I'm sorry, it is. That's like when you're in the business, when you're in any business, you're out there to make money, and that's the thing, right? Because sure, they can cast a Japanese person, but if it doesn't pique enough interest, and the movie might be really good, but it's going to end up being another cult classic instead of, you know, a worldwide phenomenon.
Right, and like how it was, you know, it was attractive to people that were into that scene, you know, back when it came out in 1995, and it's interesting because the fact that they casted someone who is naturally badass in her roles, it's gonna open up the viewers. It's gonna bring in a whole new audience that has never heard of Ghost in the Shell. And I think it's kind of a good thing because it's giving the story, it's giving the movie attention that it probably hasn't seen in such a long time. Like, I mean, it'd be really sick if they relaunched like a remake in like an anime version of Ghost in the Shell today. Like that'd be cool and that'd be great. That's still gonna appeal to a certain
Well,
market.
they did have a like a mini series of the show that was released afterwards. But I mean, I think even, you know, to your point as well too, is that, you know, it's not like they just got some random white girl to play this part. You know, like Scarlett Johansson can act. You know, she's proved that she can do combat and guns and movies and things like that. I think it would have been a totally different story if they got like whatever.
I can't even think of a name, honestly, because
like
it's
Kate Upton or someone who can't act, or I don't even know if Kate Upton can act. You know, to play this role where it was like just basically just to get some girl with, you know, assets, I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
God.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting about this all is that the people behind the movie, like Stephen Paul, the producer, he's almost certain fans are going to be happy with the outcome, and they're going to be really happy with it. And while that's all good and well that the producer spoke up and said, like, you know, this is a cultural like adaptation, and it's going to be a good movie, and the original fans are going to love it, it's still going to appeal to like a wide range audience. So I'm looking forward to it. All in all, you know, the movie is going to be really cool. I mean, the trailer just looks absolutely incredible. My husband watched it. He's actually never seen Ghost in the Shell. He doesn't know anything about it, and he's a part of this like this culture too. He loves anime, and like it's a shame that he doesn't know the movie, but he's never seen it, and he was like, "This looks awesome." So I'm looking forward to it. All in all,
yeah, and I think for me, it's that the fact that, you know, it won't make money without the consideration of someone different cast than Scarlett Johansson. I think the fact that you know, this opportunity was given to her shows that there's a problem with equity in the casting market. And I think that it's probably just a bigger discussion about how Hollywood operates. And I definitely think that there's some conversation around, like, well, what does it mean to say that it's a culture adaptation when it's really not a story about our culture? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And there's also no chances given from Hollywood to even casting different, like, actors of different ethnicities in the first place. So I think it's a bigger question. At the end of the day, I hope that they don't butcher the story. I think it's such a great story, and it has such, like, interesting potential. And I do appreciate the art direction. And I think that it looks really slick. So I'm hoping that I just hope it lives up to the hype in some way.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I just hope it's less confusing than the anime was to me. That's all.
Those, let me tell you, like I was saying earlier, they love to throw you in the middle of action and then kind of hope that you figure it out.
I mean, keep in mind, I was a lot younger when I watched it, so.
Hey, you should try it again. There you go.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good series. Well, we are kind of getting close to the hour mark, so I think this is actually a good place to wrap up for this episode. But I just wanted to say thank you to Natalie and Ziggy for coming along for the ride for this episode of the EloTalk podcast. Appreciate y'all coming here and adding to the conversation.
You're welcome.
And if you want to listen to other episodes of our podcast, be sure to give them a listen, and we will be back in a couple weeks with a new episode. And if you'd like to support this podcast, our written work, anything that you see coming out from EloTalk.com, be sure to check out our Patreon, which is, again, patreon.com/EloTalk. And did y'all want to say anything before you go? Something you're looking forward to, a little send-off message?
I just want to say I am so glad that we got to do this in one wrap. It was awesome. And you know what? You guys are awesome people. I've had a lot of fun doing this, and I would definitely do this again. And, thank you, everyone, for supporting us and, by clicking on the pages and reading our articles and stuff like that. We're very excited to get content out for you. So please help us out. Patreon. Yeah.
And thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me as well, Justin. This has been an interesting week, so I'm looking forward to just keeping up with the hype in the gaming community. So be sure to check out EloTalk.com.
For sure.
Check out our Discord as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone.
Thank you. All right. Have a good one.
Peace.
Bye.
And we will see you all next time.
All right.